Hey everyone, it's Anne at Still City Scented, where we discuss artsy, weirdo, vintage, indie, and artisanal perfumery. If you like those, you are in the correct place. I'm not going to do my normal one fragrance review this morning because I heard on Tuesday, and it's been bothering me and perplexing me all week, about the comparison between these two, Cabotine by Clay, and this is the Eau de Toilette, to Christian Dior Tendre Pioson. So I heard a woman on YouTube discussing that her mother actually, when the woman brought home the clay, she said, and sprayed it, she's like, oh, when did you get a new bottle of Tendre Pioson? She said, I didn't. I have Cabotine clay on. Or clay by, whatever, it's early, sorry. So I went, that's, okay, I can kind of see that. So I've been wearing them all week at different times during the day to see if her assessment was accurate. But then I went on Parfumo this morning, and apparently everyone knows this except me. So if you're looking for something similar enough to Tendre Pioson without paying, what did I pay for this bottle of half? Like $150? This is a solid choice. So let's talk about the two. So Cabotine, this is the Eau de Toilette. This was released in 1990. The bottle was done by a man named Tendre Pioson. And if you know the top, the Eau de Parfum has the little guys, and they have three little broccoli-looking things on them. The other ones have like kind of broccoli top, so it literally looks like you take a piece of actual carnivorous broccoli, not the other kind, and then put it on the top. So it's quite a interesting looking cap, and this is a tester though, obviously, so it doesn't have that. But let's go over just the notes between the two and what my experience has been. So the notes for this one are plentiful. There's green notes, and it's not aromatic per se, but a little bit, not even spicy, but or grassy. You can just tell that there are green notes in this fragrance. Orange blossom, black currant, and it's not gonna piss on me. Tagettes, cassia, peach, coriander, and plum in the top. And you can't smell all of them, but there's, oh, this is so beautiful. The heart notes are hyacinth, tuberose, carnation, ginger, which is not crazy ginger, jasmine, violet, ylang ylang, freesia, heliotrope, iris, and rose. Quite floral. And the base, again, is back to black currant, cedar, civet, musk, vetiver, it's a bright vetiver, amber, tonka bean, vanilla, and sandalwood. Definitely not Mysore, but maybe sandalwood. That's the notes. So if you can remember all those. The notes for Tendre Pioson that was released in Tendre Pioson, again, this is, if you're looking ever for vintage bottles of anything with Christian Dior, there's two different addresses. One is 30 Rue Hoche, or I think Avenue Hoche, and the other is 33. The 33 is actually older than the 30, but this one doesn't have that listed on here. It just says in very small writing the address, and then Paris. So yeah, the address again, whatever, we'll talk about that some other time. This again, 94. And the bottle was, oh, I didn't say what the perfumer was. Pause, back to the perfumer for Cabotine. Oh yeah, I did, Jean-Claude Deville. Oh God, I'm so tired. Okay, the person that did the bottle was a woman called Veronique Manon, and this bottle, I love these bottles. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They're kind of like literally poison bio-ish, so how fun is that? 94, and I love the original ad for this. Go check it out. It's just so cute. Anyway, the top notes, tangerine, bergamot, galbanum, rosewood, and asafoetida, which is actually an Indian spice that's quite sulfurous. Don't get that in the top. Heart notes are tuberose, freesia, honey, neroli, orange, and rose. So musk, heliotrope, sandalwood, and vanilla are in the base. So just thinking of comparing the top two, Clay by Cabotine is actually obviously more fruity, right? And you get that on the opening. It seems to be sweeter on the opening. And I have about a 30-minute dry down right now. I think I actually like the Cabotine better than the Tendre Pioson, which makes me sad to say because I love this stuff. We're still kind of, I mean, it still smells like orange blossom, peach and plum right now. It seems to be more rich and robust, the Cabotine does, than the Tendre Pioson at this point. And I wish I could smell the galbanum in the top. Maybe because this bottle's got so much air in it. I'm not quite sure. But I can smell a little bit of honey and orange right now for the Tendre Pioson, so we're definitely in the mids. But don't rely on the notes, really. The way that this evolved on my skin was it moved through a more fruity opening. The heart was much more floral for the Cabotine. And then the base, obviously, the civet was there, which I'm a giant fan of, obviously. And then the Tendre Pioson really, it gets fruity, a little sweet, and then there's no civet or animalics in the base whatsoever of Tendre Pioson. It is absolutely beautiful for what it is. It's just a little bit less heavy, I guess, than the Cabotine. So I would keep these both in my collection for sure. Like, they're both absolutely beautiful fragrances. I feel like, though, if you like the scent profile, they're definitely very similar, right? So even though the notes seem to be different and they evolve differently, I feel like if you know Tendre Pioson, if you've worn it, you could possibly get by, because the way that these both evolve on my skin are similar enough to one another, despite the lightness of the Tendre Pioson and the heaviness of the Cabotine. And I say that in quotes, right? I just feel like, especially in the heat, the Cabotine would be a lot more bold, I guess, and evolve differently than the Tendre Pioson. So, I mean, they're reminiscent of each other to me enough. Again, I wouldn't say it's inspired by, although this was released 4 years later. I feel like this one definitely took some pages from this one's book and creation. Oh, and the perfumer, I apologize, for Tendre Pioson was Edouard Flechier, and he's done so much stuff. It's ridiculous. So I say all of this babbling without caffeine very early in the morning for the simple fact that, again, if you cannot find Tendre Pioson, if you are addicted to the scent profile, if you want something possibly a little bit more rich, on my skin anyway, and a little more floral, you can get here with Cabotine by Gres. And again, I recommend the vintage bottles, although the new stuff is really not that far off from the vintage, although the civet's obviously not, and the newer stuff really pronounced on my skin whatsoever, and there's a little bit less floral. So it's a little bit less of a rich experience if you're looking at the new versions of Cabotine. It's someone, I forget who the perfumer is on the new one, but it's someone that's not a slouch. So again, like, it's not the end of the world if you can only get the new Cabotine versus the old. So I hope that this very circuitous babbling this morning has helped out someone. And yeah, I mean, I really like both of these. I just really feel like they're wearable in different situations. Again, Tendre Pioson may be a little more applicable if you're going to place someplaces that you don't know, where you have to have a little bit of a lighter fragrance, or you really just want to be a little more inconspicuous. Whereas this one, it's a little more like in your face with shoulder pads. So, all right, everyone, hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Love you and take care. Bye.